Hey there, YouTube friends. Mass Bandit here with another episode of BroAcres Pumpkinpalooza, or whatever it is. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. We're getting the damn maize in. Oh my god. Please don't take this the wrong way, because this is more tongue-in-cheek than anything, but there have been so many comments. You should add a corn maze. You should add a corn maze. How about a corn maze? Did you ever think of putting in a corn maze? I think a corn maze would look good here. How about a corn maze? You should totally do a corn maze. It's not a fall festival without a corn maze. You're all correct. It is not a fall festival without a corn maze. So here I go. And I told you it was hard. I told you that there was a reason that we didn't have a corn maze yet. You're about to see why just right here. This corn that I am using is from the workshop, and it is by somebody named Silent Member. He's actually a member of BroNation, and he was kind enough to let me use this. He made this for some of his own work, and it's really, really nice. From a distance. He says that as well, not just me. And it's hundreds of parts. Like, this little plot here was like 30,000 pieces. When you see where I went with this, it was 30,000 pieces. So I'd love to tell you that by the end of this episode, we have a glorious corn maze. But we don't. But I wanted you to see that I gave it the old college try. I even went so far as to try to modify his a little bit and spin them and rotate them. But the thing with corn is, there's really not a good way to not make it look tiled. And there's no way I can put this in individually. It's impossible. I had to use copy and paste. And when you do that, the tiling becomes really apparent with this stuff. And this is the best option that I could find for corn. I could have used a plant already in the game, but it doesn't look like corn at all. Someone pointed me in the direction of a junior coaster that has a farm theme, and the corn kind of works and the plant as the corn works because it's just part of a scenery. But if you're in a corn maze, it better look like corn, and this just doesn't. I forwarded this to the guys on BroNation, and they're all like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So we brainstormed, we figured it out together, and what we ended up with is, what about a hay bale maze? I know a few people have come up with that idea on the comments as well. I wanted to go for corn. I wanted it to be a corn maze, but after that was clearly not going to happen. You'll see we're about to switch to hay in just a second. I went on to BroNation and we brainstormed for a couple minutes about how we could do this, about what we could do to get this to look good. And hay bales. Hay bales are where it's at. This was my first attempt at hay bales. This might be a little bit more accurate as far as how they're actually baled. I don't know. But I didn't like the way the pieces it was. I didn't like the way the ropes looked on this. I thought it was a little wonky, so it didn't do it for me. So what we end up doing eventually is altering these bales and making the ropes go horizontally, I suppose. And I think they're still wrapped. No, they're just horizontal. I like it better, and I was able to make a bunch of different variation. Well, not really variation. So I had you'll see here in the video what we do. So as you can see, I start, and I actually wow, I'm surprised I got this far before I gave up. But you can see here, I'm trying to place individual hay bales, and that's not going to work. There we go. So this is going to be the hay bale we actually use. And shout out again to the people on BroNation, specifically Jonty and Silent Member, who were instrumental in they gave me some concepts. And this is actually Jonty's idea. Geekism, Jonty, he suggested hay bale. He suggested these thatched roof pieces. Actually, he wasn't the one that came up with it, but he's the one that did kind of a mock-up, and he was the impetus to make me try this. So we try it, and it's not the worst thing ever. Oh, there goes my phone. It's not the worst thing ever. It's fairly convincing, and then what I end up doing is, after I do all this, I end up making a couple variations. You can see I do like one, rotate it 180 degrees, and then flip it over 180 degrees, and then rotate that 180 degrees to get 4 little variants. And once I do that, I figured laying these individually is going to take for frickin' ever. So I end up making little chunks of 3 and varying it all up to try and make this go a little bit faster. The issue is, with this being just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, it does end up looking a little tiley, but it's hay bales, so it doesn't look nearly as offensive. It doesn't look nearly as offensive as something like corn. So, yeah, this this is pretty much the bulk of the episode, is setting up this goofy corn maze. So, I wanted to chat a little bit. Oh, I just lost my train of thought there. Darn. Well, phooey. I had something to say, and now I can't remember what it was. And in the time lapse here, these kind of look like little biscuits or something, little cookies. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Oh, that was totally unprofessional. I do apologize. So, I did have to alter the maze layout quite a bit. You never really know until you go in there and start working on it what it's going to look like. So I did have to do that. I did alter it quite a bit. So it's not complete. You'll notice that it's looking a little barren around it. And I want a way to get people over here. I considered plopping in a one of those vista points again, somewhere in the maze. But then people would just walk through it unless I put barriers down. And I've heard that barriers and curbs actually decrease performance because it's more calculations for the game to do, aside from just where your paths are. So I'd like to avoid that if I can. I've got them in other places. I don't think we need a whole maze of barriers. I don't think that's a good idea for anybody. So anyway, lots of stack in here. There's not much to say. I'm building a maze. I'm building a maze. I know what I'll talk about. The DLC came out today. I have the DLC. I actually have not done much with it. Yet. I am not going to do any sort of DLC specific project like we did with Surfside. I don't have that in me. Not at this point. I'm working on this, and then I kind of want to transition directly into a winter project after this. But general consensus is the DLC is okay. My personal consensus from what I've seen that's in it and what I've seen on the videos, I watched a bunch of those videos. Some people were lucky enough to get their hands on it before it dropped today. And so I watched their videos yesterday. And it's okay. I don't want to rag on Planet Coaster. I love the game, and I've loved all the expansion packs. This is the first expansion pack that I was a little apprehensive about. I was like, oh, that could be cool. And then we have 10 new themes. Wow, that's a lot of themes. That's going to be a lot of parts. And it's a lot of, it's all based around those 10 food stalls is what it is. If you're going in anticipating 10 completely fleshed out themes, you are going to be disappointed. Some of the, quote, themes have 5 pieces. It's a shame, really. It feels like, well, we have, and I could be totally wrong on this, but it feels like they had a whole bunch of just leftover tidbits that they had stuff in the works, and then the Toolmaker kit got announced. And so then it was like, well, let's just dump all this into a, quote, World's Fair DLC. It's kind of how it comes across. The fact that we get, quote, 2 coasters when they're 2 bike coasters and 1 transport ride and no flats is a little sad. I love scenery, I really do, but a lot of this stuff is very specific to the 10 new food brands. Maybe if they had called it a food DLC or something, that might have made me a little more, okay, cool. But they said it was 10 full themes, and I have a hard time agreeing with that from what I've seen. People Mover's really cool, though. It is a people mover, and it looks really neat. I didn't realize how many people were all into people movers. They're fine. I don't know. I've been on the one at Disney probably a bunch of times. I don't understand. If you love them, hey, good for you. That's cool. I don't understand, though. So, yeah, don't expect a lot of DLC stuff from me. We'll find some pieces that are useful for what I like to do, and I will put them in, and I'll be sure to point them out, hey, this is one from the new DLC. And, I don't know, if you're really into the food scene, you will probably love it. Actually, I think the stuff in the free update is better. They have a new thing where when you go to recolor the piece, that blue glow that I've always complained about, it's gone now. You don't have... You can recolor stuff and you don't have to guess what it's actually going to look like. I'm so excited. It actually freaked me out the first time. I was like, whoa, where'd it go? And then I forgot that was something new. They've also changed the smoothing. There's more smoothing tools in Planet Coaster now. There's smooth height and smooth turn and smooth bank and then smooth all. I haven't played with them yet. I don't know what they do. Some people at BroNation have given them a whirl and said that the effects are very slight, if anything. So I don't know. You'll have to do that if those of you that play and you have the free 1.8, check it out. See what you see with that. See what you like. The vending machines I can do without. I guess the only reason I would use those vending machines is because to have to be able to hide actual functionality inside interiors better. Oh, restaurants is part of 1.8. Frankly, I have yet to build a hotel. With the hotel update, it's probably going to be just about as long before I get into building a restaurant. Especially because when I think restaurant, I think interior. So, I don't know. We'll see. It would be an easy way to get some food vending, some food options in your park. If you have a couple buildings that are just empty, ready for something, you can plop it in real quick. That'll be nice. The firework update, I'm kind of about it. I'm whatever about that. So I don't think I've ever used the fireworks, and I think the sequencer is a hot mess. So, well, I do love the game. It definitely does have its issues, and this is the first DLC. Back to jump on the DLC. This is the first DLC where I haven't been like, yeah, DLC. It's been like, oh, well, DLC. But I still got it. I mean, let's be honest, I got it. And like I said, hopefully I will just show you a little bit here and there with what's in it. The thing I'm most excited about is the music. They did Planko versions of the theme for all the different countries. Oh my gosh. Like that trailer that dropped today, and this is recorded on Tuesday. The trailer that dropped is so good. So good. I love the music. Like Planko's music and sound, the audio design in this game is phenomenal. And that might be, I think, Planet Coaster's biggest strength. So, personally. So now that I've ranted about the game for quite a while, we're still stacking hay. Hey. As you can see, I got a bit of a flow going, and once it started, it was pretty okay. The tempo picked up a bit, and as you can see, by the end here, it's just like, get it in, get it in, get it in, get it in. I kind of wanted to be done with it. You can only place hay bales for so long. It took me a solid 55 minutes to an hour to do this, yeah. And then I was like, we're done. The last thing I wanted to do is I figured out how to end the pavement here. We're going to have a big paved section. We're going to say that they put this big pavement section in for the tractor rides so that you can get on the tractor rides pretty easily. And we'll put some picnic benches for people to wait there. And while we're there, we'll put a hot dog stand in. I figured that was a nice way to tidy up this area, and it allows us to now use the nature paths if we want to, excuse me, I bumped my mic, if we want to drag people out there or draw people out there. I don't know how we draw people out there aside from, like, maybe we'll put a flat out there. Maybe we'll put the zipper out there. I don't, what's it called? I don't know what the in-game flats are actually called. You know what the zipper is. It's that one. It's the vertical one with the spinny thing and the thing that spins and whatever it's called. The uppy-downy. I don't know. But I actually really like this goofy roofline. It's not, super realistic or super clean. It's also super simple, but I like it. I think it's spooky without necessarily having to be super spooky. So, and that's going to do it for this episode. It's another little bit of a shorter episode. Somebody in the last episode mentioned how much we got done in a short amount of time. Kind of the opposite today. Darn hay bales, they'll do that to you. Darn hay mazes. So as this wraps up, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already so you don't miss anything we do. And have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see you for the next episode of BroAcres Pumpkinpalooza. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.